Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Thank God it's Friday. TGIF, that's what it's called. Today is Friday, 7th of November, year 2025. And this is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Thank you for joining us. It's 7 a.m. every weekday, so it's Morning Spring o'clock. All through the weekday, we look into issues, in the polity, issues of governance, socio-economic issues, and of course, everything that is worth talking about. That's what we get to talk about on the program. We start that with the headline segment where we look at various headlines, in the public space, actually at the local level, the subnational level, and even the national level, even globally, just for you to be informed, about happenings around you and even far away from you. That is what we do here. And of course, at the other side of that, we get talking about issues. Now, if it's worth talking about, this is where you get to hear it from, and you get to be a part of that as well. We speak to critical stakeholders, public office holders, everybody that has something to do with the progress of this nation. That is what and who we speak to, on the program. Sometimes it's quite uncomfortable conversations, but then we must have it, because this nation is ours and we can't allow it to go down. In spite of the challenges, I have a feeling Nigeria will rise. But then it's not just about will. It's not just about wish. It's not just about feeling. It's about doing what is right. But then it starts from the inside, having a positive attitude, but then we must identify where we are. One of the best things any person can do for himself or herself is knowing where you are, acknowledge where you are, and not for self-deceit, because it's part of our challenges in Nigeria, glossing over issues, deflecting issues, putting, our responsibility at the doorsteps of others. Oh, is naysayers, is bad intentioned people, and all of those things, while shying away from our responsibility. But I think we can no more do that. We don't have the leisure of doing that. Who can we blame, especially what is happening in Nigeria right now? Who shall the president blame? That's the question. The vice president, the Senate president, the deputy Senate president, the House of Reps speaker, the deputy House of Reps speaker, the entire cabinet of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, all of them, board chairman, everybody, ministries, agencies of government, departments. Who shall we blame? That's the big question here. We can't blame anybody again, but we must look inward to do what is right. And part of doing what is right is speaking truth to power, which Morning Spring represents. Femi Ojo is my name. Yes, Femi Ojo is my name. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome you on today's program. It's been quite an eventful week, at the national level. It's been a season of people saying things even when they are not asked, especially those in power. When they talk about shalaye, or you explain and explain and explain, according to a Burna Boy's rant, quite a viral rant right now. And he said, because there's no evidence, people will not believe. So that is the era of shalaye. Shalaye means you explain in Yoruba language, but it's more than that. It's more like you trying to just make people see you in a kind of light, but then there's no evidence to support whatever you are saying. That's the position of many handlers of the government right now, in which many of them have been tagging softly, diplomatically speaking, addressing, if actually they are addressing the issue of the alleged or purported invasion of, Nigeria by the U.S. to take away the people they have called extremists. They call them the Islamic jihadists away from the soil. And Nigeria is saying, on the pretext of a genocide against Christians, you can't do that, actually, because that is not happening in Nigeria. That's it. And in fact, 2 days ago, the plenary, something was being said about Mr. Trump being with the Deputy Senate President. I think I said it yesterday on the program. Deputy Senate President was trying to say, talk about the issue of President Trump and Nigeria, and he had to be shouted down. Don't talk about Mr. Trump right now. Don't just say anything. If you want to say, you will say it as a Senate, but now that you want to start, the man wanted to say something. Councillor Pabio said, hush it. There is an adage around here that maybe the chick doesn't know the hawk, but it's the mother that recognizes the hawk. If actually you understand what I'm saying, Yoruba, that, it translates to literally the chick, does not understand and the severity of having hawks around, but the mother does. So possibly that's why the Gospel of Bible is telling his deputy to say, hush it, shh, don't say anything about Mr. Trump. And yesterday again, at the plenary, I think it should be yesterday, videos emanated where, one of the ministers or nominee of Mr. President, to be screened at the National Assembly at the Senate. He was at the Senate, and while he was being addressed, he was told to answer everything possible that is thrown at him. In fact, the same Senate President told him, Trump matter, Oga nominee, don't talk about it. Now, Mr. Trump's name is as dreaded among the high and the mighty in Nigeria. Who will have thought a day will come in Nigeria in which somebody like the Senate President that likes to talk about anything and everything. He's quite a humorous man, if you know him, actually. Quite a witty person who will be telling people in the chambers, including a nominee, that whatever we will ask you today. When it comes to the issue of Trump, please leave it alone. That's what, Senate President number 3, that's what he has said repeatedly. He said it 3 days ago, and I think he said it 2 days ago. The day just after the other day, he said it. Even when possibly the nominee, doesn't have an intention to speak about that, but he told him, whatever we will ask you, whatever question you will answer in this house, don't talk about Trump. I beg. It's as serious as that, because everybody now. Is it because we want to tread carefully? Because these are the issues. Is it because Mr. Trump understands the terrain of diplomacy, or they just don't want to get Mr. Trump more angry? Because that's the assumption of so many Nigerians to say they don't want the man to see them speaking against him. But if it has to do with you defending the nation, when you check the communications that have been coming out, it's more like, oh, we are doing a lot. Genocide is not happening in Nigeria. Nobody has told Mr. Trump, if actually these were to be coming from the opposition or maybe some individuals around the world, you could have seen the guns blazing, in the words of verbal guns blazing, rather, in the words of Mr. Trump when he said we are going to come gun blazing in Nigeria to come and take out Islamic jihadists. Actually, because I've not read any of the communications that have told Mr. Trump to shush it. Anybody that will call Mr. Trump out to say, Mr. Trump, you are lying. Handle your business. Don't talk about us. In fact, go and sit down in whatever language. None of the communications from the presidency. In fact, the only thing is for Mr. Senate President to be telling everybody, Trump matter, please leave it. Don't talk about it. Is God not good? That's the question. We'll go. As they say, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. But Mr. President, yesterday, addressed the matter in a particular instance and said, we will do everything. We will cooperate with the world. That's the language he used. We will cooperate with the world to make sure we secure our people. You know, when I talk about the adage of maybe the chick doesn't understand who a hawk is, and it's the mother hen that understands what a hawk can do. You know, even the president has been very diplomatic in his stance. Even, you know, none of the Daniel Boalas of this world, none of the Bayo Nonuga of this world, none of the Sunday Diary of this world has really reprimanded. That's the question. So for you to say, you know, because Mr. Trump regarded Nigeria as that disgraced country, and I've not seen any of them said, Mr. Trump, you don't have any right to say that. Take it back. We'll reprimand you. Shush it. Shut up. Don't say all of those things in whatever language they're going to coin. All they have been saying is, no, we are trying. This is not happening. Genocide is not in Nigeria. Oh, this country is not disgraced. We will do everything to handle the business. But Nigerians are saying we must stay where we are supposed to stay, and not just say, not just deflect, not just respond. Respond indeed. Let people see the result. If the thing is this, before I go to the papers, if people in power, starting with Mr. President himself, I said it here yesterday in the program at the outro, Mr. President in 2014, you were very vocal with your tweets. In fact, you're talking about the killings of Christians in Nigeria. Mr. President, you said it in 2014, that Christians are being killed. So what's going on again? Where's the lie in all of this? In a tweet that you put up, in fact, in another tweet, you said Mr. Gulo Jonathan should assemble, or the police has assembled, they have not been able to, you know, secure the people of Nigeria. In another tweet, in 2014, Mr. President, you tweeted so much. In fact, you said the box tops are the desk of Mr. President then. That was Goodluck Jonathan. Now, who is the president? The same Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The box tops at your table. That is it. We cannot just deflect. In fact, and he said, as Mr. President said in 2014, no more excuses. Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, no more excuses. That is it. No more shalaye. Nigerians cannot afford to have it. It's happening. It's not happening. People are lying. Trump is being misinformed. Oh, it's some particular people that are trying to steer these things up. Oh, it's some particular group and association. We know what we know in Nigeria. In Nigeria, rather. And Nigerians know what they know. And I think at this point, it depends on who you are asking. For somebody in Benue and Plateau, there is no way you can convince them that what is happening is not genocide. They won't believe you. For somebody in Zamfara and Katsina, they might have no business with the word genocide, because to them, the people that are killing them, they are not coming, or they don't look like they are attacking them because of their tribe or their religion. So there are different truths and narratives depending on who is saying what and where those narratives is coming out. That is the truth. But one thing that everybody can respond to is that there are killings, senseless, mindless, needless killings going on. And the government of the nation have not done enough. And that is the truth of the matter. Deflection, responses, subtle response, diplomatic response, it won't solve the matter. What will solve the matter is for people to see that in the next 6 months, their life is secure, their property is secured, and arrests are being made, prosecutions are being made, sustained neutralization of these criminals are being made. Nobody is stopping. Nobody should say because they are our people. Nobody should listen to any Sheikh Ahmad Gumi. Even until recently, even now that he's saying we should, you should understand with them, hear what they are saying. What can a killer be saying? Somebody who holds a gun against a baby. Somebody who holds a machete and slash the head of a baby. The young infants that are strapped to their mother's back, they are being killed. And Sheikh Ahmad Gumi is saying we should understand with them. And I think he has a lot of questions. And I think the man actually, for whatever intentions he has been indulged for too long. We must do better as a nation. We have to just say it. Let's just say it. as it is. This is Friday, and it has given us the opportunity to express more. And in fact, the newspaper segment will be an extended one as well for you to be well, abreast of the happenings around you. This is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television with Femi Ojo. Stay with me. All right, thank you. The first point of call for our newspaper segment today will be the Daily Sun. Shiny bright. The Daily Sun for today. Just like I said, we will have an extended, newspaper headline segment today. Daily Sun, all right, boldly reading the headline screaming, Tinubu to Trump. We will defeat terrorism. We will defeat terrorism. All right. And I just say amen to that. In fact, as they say in Nigerian churches, some Nigerian churches, say the amen 3 times. Amen, amen, amen. Then you add fire to that. And I've just done that. But it's beyond that. All right. We must be responsible and do what we have to do, irrespective of whose ox is God. Tinubu to Trump, we will defeat terrorism. All right, with riders to that, says government determined to build prosperous, inclusive, and resilient Nigeria. Says government determined to build prosperous, inclusive, and resilient Nigeria. Another rider says, we've opened diplomatic channels of communication with the U.S. federal government. We have opened diplomatic channels of communication with U.S. Federal government, and U.S. proposes airstrike plans for Nigeria. In fact, it's just a lot. All right, I saw a video in which very viral, although I can't confirm the authenticity, where a particular soldier was standing beside or in front of a map. And the president, that's Donald Trump, was behind him. It was being shown, some markings around the map, because many people are saying, is this AI generated? Or has he really come to this, actually? And you see the markings, and you trust Nigerians to always make humor out of every situation. And in that particular video, you could see the markings where the soldier was touching, and some persons are already telling themselves, hope this is not your state that somebody is marking. All right, and it's just a lot in Nigeria right now, but it's because of the exigency of the times that we are in right now. All right, and below that you have the picture of the newest minister, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in handshake with the new minister, Kingsley Ude, after swearing in ceremony in Abuja yesterday. Remember Uche Naji that resigned after the allegation of certificate forgery. He has been replaced by somebody from the state, Mr. Kingsley Ude. Uche Naji was the Minister of Science and Technology, actually. So here we go. Below that, Governor Mba Tinubu on mission to restore dignity, excellence of police and security agents. Governor Mba Tinubu on mission to restore dignity and excellence of police security agents. Remember, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared emergency, actually state of emergency, on security training institutions in Nigeria, especially the Nigerian Police College and all of those places, because it's quite appalling. I remember a particular TV documentary years ago, almost 15 years ago thereabout, that showed the state of the police college, actually, where the security agents are being trained, and it's next to nothing. And you can imagine the quality of people that will be produced from such facility. And the Mr. President is saying, let's do something right now. And the governor of Enugu State, Governor Mba, is saying, Mr. President is on a mission to restore dignity, excellence of police and security agents. Besides that, separating AGF from Minister of Justice won't stop politicization of office. Dr. Uday. Separating AGF from Minister of Justice won't stop politicization of office. Okay. Dr. Uday, the new minister, you can have, the detail of that story, page 26, of the Daily Sun for today. And Abia, Akwa Ibom partner to link state with the railway. Abia, Akwa Ibom partner to link state with the railway. And I think that's more like what people want to see. Progressive partnerships, between state, interstate partnership that will be productive, win-win situation for the state, especially neighboring states, that have a lot to gain from one another, especially talking about trade and commerce. Look at Abia State, quite a state that have some of these towns very heavy with commerce and production. So Akwa Ibom State is next to them. Why not do that? Significant and strategic partnership will be a winning situation for both states. All right, we'll see what will come out of that. Now, which will be sustained, not just something that won't be maintained, because you remember the Lagos Kebbi partnership with RISE. They call it a Lake RISE. All right, that was produced for some time. I'm not sure the situation of Lake RISE at this time right now, but then we must do better as a people. Health workers, and the way to work was, okay, Kebbi has the farm, actually has the land, and of course Lagos has the market. So, there was a collaboration. You do the farming, we'll help with whatever we can. Of course, there is a ready-made market in Lagos, which, worked for some time. I'm not sure what has happened to that initiative right now, but our collaboration, the effort between those states, talking about Lagos and Kebbi. Now, on the earth scene, health workers issue 2-week nationwide strike notice. Health workers issue 2-week nationwide strike notice. Again, with which of the earth workers are we talking about here? The 26, has that story. And moving on, PDP convention, Makinde Damagum Rally State Chairman. PDP convention, Makinde Damagum Rally State Chairman. And with the rider, don't forget karma is real, Chairman tells Anyao. Don't forget karma is real, Chairman tells Anyao. Interesting. The chairman that is telling the National Secretary that there is karma. Really, the only time big men in Nigeria talk about karma is when something is not favoring them. That's just the way it is. Okay. All right. And he's talking about PDP convention that is embattled, in fact, which a court in Abuja said, stop it. I think a court somewhere, maybe in Ibadan, said continue as well. This is the truth of the matter. All right, away from that, market panic deepens as stocks lose 2.5 trillion naira in 4 days. Why? Market panic deepens as stocks lose 2.5 trillion naira in 4 days. Investors jittery over Trump's invasion threat. Oh my. Investors jittery over Trump's invasion threat. All right, that will be all from the Daily Sun newspaper. Let's move to the Punch. Punching it hard. Punch newspaper. Still about Trump. Big headline. Trump threats. Tinubu rallies foreign allies. Tinubu rallies foreign allies as North reject Sharia ban. Tinubu rallies foreign allies as North reject Sharia ban. With a rider, federal government vows to crush terror networks. NEF, ACF reject the U.S. move to outlaw Sharia. Excuse me. Federal government vows to crush terror networks. NEF, ACF reject the U.S. move to outlaw Sharia. Interesting times. All right. And, you know, I talked about a video the other time, which has gone viral, in which a particular soldier was standing, you know, in front of a Nigerian map, and President Trump was beside him, you know, and the man was, you know, pointing at some place on the Nigerian map. I remember one of the comments to that story on social media, somebody said, interesting one, actually, you know, Nigerians, we have our way with humor. Even in the most terrible of times, there is a way. That's why they call us maybe virtually the most happiest, I mean, the happiest people on earth, the most happiest people on earth. In every situation, you must just find humor. We're talking about a serious situation now. And, you know, looking at that picture or that video where a soldier was pointing at the Nigerian map with the president, I've said it, I can't independently verify if it's real or not, but the video is there. Somebody quoted underneath the comment, I said, please let somebody, this is quite funny. The person said, let Mr. Trump be informed that Auchi is different from Bauchi. You know, Auchi is in Edo State, you know, and all right, that the difference, we're talking about Auchi. Auchi is in Edo State, and so when you remove B from Bauchi, it turns to Auchi. And the person was saying, please, Mr. Trump, Auchi is different from Bauchi. Because when you are talking about North and the South, let there be difference. But let them know, let Mr. Trump know that there is a difference, and it's just the way it is. All right. Below that, you have Anambra poll. INEC distributes sensitive materials. Anambra poll. INEC distributes sensitive materials. 55,000 policemen mobilized. 55,000 policemen mobilized. And you can see, you know, the mobilization of materials there. Maybe sensitive and non-sensitive, actually, because the people of Anambra State will be going to the polls tomorrow. So it's a big day for them. And of course, 11:59 p.m. yesterday, every campaign, everything that has to do with election definitely will have stopped, because according to the Electoral Act, today, 24 hours before the election, there should not be anything about campaign. And we wish the good people of Anambra State all the best. And we hope there will be good news. When I mean good news, talking about credibility of the process of the election, everything going on well. We were told 60,000 security personnel were mobilized, by the way, so there should not be excuses on any front. Moving on, vehicle imports slide 10% on weak consumer spending. Vehicle imports slide 10% on weak consumer spending. And Pretty Mike gets 50 million naira bail for alleged drug offense. Pretty Mike, it is for people who know him, and for those who don't, Pretty Mike is a Lagos socialite, actually. And so he was arrested, you know, because of a party we learned that was held, and, you know, there are allegations of it was a drug party or something like that. And so he was arrested. Punch is reporting Pretty Mike gets 50 million naira bail for alleged drug offense. And newly inaugurated Tinubu campaign office demolished in Benue. Wow. Newly inaugurated Tinubu campaign office demolished in Benue. Why? Moving on, APC Wike blast PDP over US embassy protest. APC Wike blast PDP over US embassy protest. Moving on, FEC okays biometric flight boarding. PH airport concession. FEC okays biometric flight boarding. PH airport concession. All right, PH is Port Harcourt, actually. And federal government rolls out new plans to tackle food shortage. Federal government rolls out new plans to tackle food shortage. All right. And Abuja Disco sacks 800 workers amid power crisis. Abuja Disco sacks 800 workers amid power crisis. We move on to the next. That's the Nigerian Tribune for today. The Nigerian Tribune. Tinubu vows defeat of terrorism as the U.S. military draft action plans. Tinubu vows defeat of terrorism as the U.S. military drafts action plans. Right. And riders to that big story. Present challenges, or better still, present challenges are passing phase, President says. Present challenges are passing phase, President says. We have opened a diplomatic channel with the U.S. We have opened diplomatic channels with U.S. federal government, and U.S. Congress seeks sanctions on groups, individuals over religious violence. U.S. Congress seeks sanctions on groups, individuals over religious violence, and Trump stands a wake-up call. Dixon. Trump stands a wake-up call. Trump stands a wake-up call. Dixon. Many Nigerians want to agree with him that maybe this, pressure from the U.S. will, support Nigeria to do what is necessary. Even if the U.S. doesn't have a plan, let's just assume that they don't have a genuine plan, but this should spur Nigeria to do great things, because now everybody is scampering, and in a diplomatic way trying to, simmer down everything that has been said about Nigeria. But the result is what cancels insult. Result, actually. Now, it's unfortunate that Mr. Trump labeled Nigeria a disgraced country. But that's an insult, big time insult. But the result that will be gotten from now will cancel those insults. Actually, that's it. And Nigerians will be the one. In fact, that's what the legal luminary, Leonard Sage, Femi Falana said a few days ago, that there is a way Nigerians can support their country if actually they see themselves as being a part of that country and they are being taken care of. Not a situation in which a few are feeding fat on the resource of the nation. And when this kind of pressure comes, you expect Nigerians to stand and say, this is our country. They won't do that because you have not given them reason, especially economic empowerment. Show them, empower them, support them, make policies that are good for their businesses, and let them see, not the ones that you explain, let them see that the country and the people handling it are doing their best. And if there's any pressure, any insult from outside, it is Nigerians that will say, hello, no, we reject that. That's the way it works. You can't force this patriotism on Nigeria. Of course, the law said we should be patriotic, but then there is a way it works. And that's the way it should be. Nigerian Tribune still, PDP crisis, state party chairman back Damagum's NWC. PDP crisis, state party chairman back Damagum's NWC, insist on Ibadan convention. Insist on Ibadan convention. Adeleke not joining ADC 8. Here we go again. Especially in Osun State. Oh, Adeleke moving to the APC. Oh, we are staying with the PDP. Adeleke is moving to the ADC. In fact, the APC, they have released a statement on that again to say, oh, you have no integrity. Why are you fraternizing with the ADC? Again, because you made attempts in joining us, that's the APC. No, we pushed you away because you'll be a liability. You have not performed. We can't have you in our party. That's the Osun APC, by the way. And, they are talking about the governor, that's Governor Ademola Adeleke, talking with the ADC, the Aregbesola-led ADC in Osun State again. And of course, the aide of the governor said, Adeleke is not joining PDP. By the way, as they usually say, time shall tell. All right. And Oyo approves the construction of Ido, Akufo, Erua, Igboho, Ishi roads. All right. Ido, Akufo, Erua, Igboho, Kishi roads have been approved by the Oyo State government. Okay, for people to understand that particular area, it's a stretch of almost the same place. All right. Different towns, by the way, not the same community. These are different towns, but it's cut across all these communities. And of course, you could see the newest minister, Minister Ude, beaming with smile, Kingsley Tochukwu Ude, Johnny is swearing in at the Villa yesterday. And Anambra Paul Amupiton faces first test tomorrow. That's it. We are waiting for the first Iton from Anambra. Iton means story, actually, or history. So Nigerians are waiting. What will it be from Anambra State? Anambra Paul Amupiton faces first test tomorrow. With riders, EU deploys 687 observers. EU deploys 687 observers. 98.8% PVCs collected for election. INEC. Interesting. 98.8 PVCs collected for election. Now, I think that's the first step, or the second step. The first is the registration. The second step is the collection, 98.8%. That's a very good percentage. The third one is if those who have collected their PVCs will come out for the election. And then we wait to see that tomorrow, because it's a thing for you to collect your PVC. It's a thing for you to come out, for that particular election and do your civic duty. All right, another rider to that headline would be 6 credible election kicks against vote buying. All right, and health story, combining vaping and smoking increases the risk of pre-diabetes by 28%. Study. Listen to this again. Combining vaping and smoking increases the risk of pre-diabetes by 28%. Study. So everybody should watch it. All right. And from the sports scene, Osimhen dusts Obago's record in Europe. Osimhen dusts Obago's record in Europe. The man is smoking hot. Talking about Victor Osimhen. The last time he played for Nigeria, he got a hat-trick. 2 days ago, I think in the Champions League, he got another hat-trick as well. The man is really balling, red hot, smoking, blasting Victor Osimhen. And he has surpassed Obafemi Martin's record in Europe. Talking about Europe goals. All right. All the best to the man. By the way, I think next week, there will be the first leg of the playoffs. Nigeria playing against Gabon. The playoff for the qualification for the FIFA Men's World Cup next year in US and Mexico, actually. So we wish the Eagles all the best. And top strip, economy rebounding, inflation easing, says Finance Minister. This is sounding more like, these acquired to Maguire to Passpar kind of motivational talks. Economy rebounding, inflation easing, says Finance Minister. And FEC approves $396 million loans for IDPs. Loans for IDPs. I hope these loans are being monitored, especially at this instance, talking about IDPs. And 2027, APC plots control of Northeast. Taraba governor may defect on November 19. All right, opens discussion with Adamawa governor. Interesting transfer window. On the ending, transfer window. So who is next? The APC. Of course, these individuals have been mentioned, talking about the Taraba state governor and his Adamawa counterpart. And I think Plateau state governor too. In some guys have said he's being pressurized to join the the APC. All right, we move away from the Nigerian Tribune. Let's go to the Daily Trust for today, the Daily Trust newspaper. The U.S. threat, Tinubu response to Trump. You will need to see that kind of response, what it looks like. U.S. threat, Tinubu response to Trump. And despite peace deal, bandits killed 2 Katsina community leaders. Here we go. Despite peace deal, bandits killed 2 Katsina community leaders. Many persons agree that whatever peace deal was agreed it was dead on arrival. There is no way you can make peace deal with people that have every power over you. Nobody makes a sustainable deal from a place of weakness. And you're talking about a kind of deal that doesn't have constitutional backing. It doesn't have the laws of the country backing it. No lawyers agreement, no court agreement. It was just, will you stop killing us? Please, what will it take? We will provide that. And these people can always come back with their weapons. In fact, at that meeting, there were pictures of those guys coming to to those meetings with terrible weapons, military-grade weapons. And so it's always known that that was going to be a dead-on-arrival kind of initiative. Despite peace deal, bandits came to Katsina community leaders. Sad, sad, and sad. Now, Chief Imam killed over alleged witchcraft in Kwara. Another bad news here. Chief Imam killed over alleged witchcraft in Kwara. What's going on here? All right, Cameroon's Paul Biya sworn in for 8th term. Cameroon's Paul Biya sworn in for 8th term of 7 years. Actually, it's not 4 years. It's 7 years in Cameroon. And the man is 92. And he has just started another 7 years. All right. By the time he finishes, actually, he will be 99. Interesting takes. So much for the Cameroonians and their choices and their leaders. Now, Lagos, and there are many persons who have been telling President Tinubu that whatever is going on in Cameroon is their business, but it's far from being democratic. And they're telling the president, please don't congratulate him, because if you congratulate him, it shows that you have endorsed, whatever has happened in Cameroon. But then it's the choice of Mr. President to do that. And the whole world, Nigerians are even watching as well to see what Mr. President will do. Lagos gets new federal varsity amidst 7-year ban. Lagos gets new federal varsity amidst 7-year ban. That's true. What's happening? A few months ago, we told there will be a ban on, new universities, creation of new universities, or, approval of application for new universities. So what is happening here? It's supposed to be a 7-year ban. All right. You might get the details from page 22 of the Daily Trust for today. Top strip. 3 teachers attend to 207 pupils in FCT school. 3 teachers attend to 207 pupils in FCT school. And I think this was brought to the fore at the point in time. I think VDM, the controversial social crusader, had something to say on that a few months ago, where he said, in fact, the state of education in some FCT schools is nothing to write home about. In fact, there was a time that the teachers there down too, they went on strike. And many persons have been calling on Minister Wike to say, please attend to anything that has to do with education, not just roads, not just projects. That's fine as well, but many truths can coexist. Please do what you have to do, because you can guess. In fact, you can safely say it will be next to nothing if actually this particular story is true. How can 3 teachers attend to 207 pupils? How? What can they do to them? Actually, what level of quality of education, can they impart? What knowledge? Now, which strength would they be able to use to do that? Actually, moving on, 15% tariff. Petrol may cost 1,028 naira per litre, and diesel 1,194 naira. So much about that. 15% tariff. Petrol may cost 1,028 naira per litre, and diesel costing 1,194 naira per litre. And FEC okayed $396 million credit for IDP's Sokoto Health Project. Let's move to the last paper for this morning, and it will be The Nation. The Nation newspaper. Tinubu, we will defeat terrorism, secure every part of the country, and Nigeria engaging constructively, diplomatically to address all genuine concerns. All genuine concerns. All right. And there is a statement credited to Mr. President. Do we have problems? Yes. Are we challenged by terrorism? Yes. But we will defeat terrorism. We will overcome the CPC designation. We shall spare no effort until we eliminate all criminals. We want our friends to help us. But then we have to be sincere with ourselves. That will be what Nigerians are saying. Let's first be sincere with ourselves and call it whatever it is, so that we can tackle it the way we are supposed to tackle it. All right, away from that story. Tariffs, import restrictions, others for review. Tariffs, import restrictions, others for review with a rider. New phase of economic reforms underway. All right, and see bottom street now. COAS promises soldier first policy. Chief of Army Staff promises soldier first policy. All right, their welfare needs to be taken care of so that they can perform, with some encouragement and perform maximally. And Finance Minister leads G24. Finance Minister leads G24. And in that picture, you can see the picture of the Finance Minister, Minister Wale, and there in the middle, the CBN Governor Wale Cardoso, and at the other end, you have Atiku Bagudu as the Minister for Budget and National Planning. Away from that, Forum of State Chairman back Damagum PDP Convention. Forum of State Chairman back Damagum PDP Convention. And court to rule in Lamido's suit Tuesday. Court to rule in Lamido's suit Tuesday. All right, and moving on. GHL to AMCON. You can't appoint a receiver manager for us. Away from that, FEC rolls out approvals. Now, you get to hear. And, the approvals that were made at the FEC, talking about the Federal Executive Council meeting, maybe you might have some of your challenges in your area addressed. These are the approvals. 43 billion naira for Lagos-Ibadan Road Phase 2. 43 billion naira for Lagos-Ibadan Road Phase 2. And Maitama 2 District Judges Residencies. Maitama 2 District Judges Residencies. And $396 million loans for Northern IDPs and Sokoto Health Project. And concession of Port Harcourt International Airport. It has gotten an approval. Concession of Port Harcourt International Airport and Presidential Task Force to drive Dirty December. Interesting. Let me take that again. Presidential Task Force to drive Dirty December. Dirty December is, is an appellation actually for the merriment, that happens in December. The traveling, actually, people come in, to unwind, to party, to have a good time, spend time with family, spend time with friends. But all those can only be possible when you have money. In fact, without money, what you will have is not Dirty December. Read my list. What you will have is not Dirty December. What you will have is Dirty December. And there's a difference between Dirty December and Dirty December, if you understand what I'm saying. So there is a presidential task force on that. What will be their job? We'll wait to see. All right. And lastly, Makinde approves 88 billion naira roads project. Makinde approves 88 billion naira road project. Nigeria targets 32% emission cut by 2025. Nigeria targets 32% emission cut by 2025. The picture, up here, it has to do with the ministers. New ministers join cabinet. Dr. Kingsley Tochukwu now the Minister of Science and Technology, and Dr. Bernard Mohamed Doro is now the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster, or Poverty Reduction, rather. All right, that means ministry has been renamed Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, taking oath of office before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right at the presidential villa in Abuja. And you remember that particular ministry has been embattled. First, under Muhammadu Buhari, it was superintended by Ajia Umar Sadia Farouk, actually, and in which many things were alleged at that time. Till now, nothing was being said, nothing concrete about the woman, and whatever corruption allegation, was labeled during our tenure as a minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. That was what it was called at that time. Later, under this administration, the person that took over was Betaidu. You remember Betaidu? I'm sure many persons might have even forgotten. There were allegations of impropriety, financial impropriety, and the woman was relieved of her duty. Till now, what really happened to Betaidu? How about the prosecution of Betaidu? And now, there is another man in charge of that ministry, Dr. Bernard Mohammed Doro, is the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. We wish these two ministers all the very best. And I'm sure many persons might be concerned to say, under Buhari, the minister there was a woman. Under Tinubu, the woman, the minister there, was a woman as well. Now that there is another minister, why not a woman? But then, this is the choice of Mr. President to do what he is given the constitutional backing to do. Of course, you have just been served. There's been an extended newspaper segment this morning from the north to the south, from the Trump issues to the response by the Nigerian government to approvals from the FEC to issues of security, killings around the country, education and loans, and the new ministers that have taken charge. You have been served. We take a quick break right now. When we return, we won't talk about Trump and Tinubu and insecurity. We talk about something quite interesting that we don't get to talk about every day, but you deserve to know and to be a part of. Stay with me.